In this video, I'm going to share with you the 10 manifestation techniques and things about the universe that I will be teaching my kid. If you are returning to this channel, then you might know by now, my wife and I just announced that we are pregnant, probably about 19-20 weeks is the time of this video coming out. And I've been thinking a lot about what I will teach my kid about the universe, about law of attraction, about consciousness. And so I'm going to share with you the top 10 manifestation principles I will teach my kid eventually to help them navigate and create the life that they truly want most for themselves. So this is Jake Ducey with JakeDucey.com. Make sure you hit the like button right over there and let's dive right into this video. Now, this first one I probably won't be teaching them when they are 6 months old, but as I think about the fact that I am eventually raising an independent adult, one of the fundamental things that I really need them and want them to learn as their father, I don't know the sex of the baby yet as I'm making this video, is that the unigraph is a holographic projection of consciousness. And your senses in your brain are just receivers and interpreters of vibration. And everything is emanating a vibration because everything is simply energy, that we actually are spiritual beings in a physical body. So I want my kid to know that they're actually much more than their body, and that this world is spiritual, that we are eternal, that when me, their father, dies, I will not really be dying. I will just be transitioning out of this realm because everything is energy. Energy is never created or destroyed. And it's just simply transferring to different states. So much like if you leave ice cubes out, eventually they'll move to a water state. Eventually they'll move to a gas state. It's the same substance manifesting in different frequencies or variations. Similarly, that's what happens with us too. The majority of who you are is actually non-physical. So this entire universe is, and everything that we appear to interpret as physical is simply energy and vibration. And your thoughts are actually frequencies that create your life. And that ultimately life is simply a reflection of your own perception of it. If you view yourself as unlovable, you are not going to be able to create or attract a fulfilling romantic relationship. If you believe that life is very, very, very difficult and that other people simply don't like you or that you aren't good at communication, that will be your reality. Why? Because this is all just energy that's based off of how I'm perceiving it. It's literally a giant world that you are dreaming up with your own beliefs about it. Now, this is really empowering because ultimately that means you're the one from your own thoughts and how you perceive this reality that are going to ultimately create or manifest your own destiny. And ultimately, you can do and be and have whatever you want because this is all just an energy realm that's a projection off of consciousness. The second thing that I will teach my kid is to save more than they spend. Preferably 30% or more. I'll tell them that your daddy, when he was 21 years old, started saving 50% of my money. But we're not talking about just money here. We're talking about energy as a whole. And what I mean by that is that we're always going to save more than we spend, or else we're always going to be in an energy deficit. That goes for relationships. If we give everything outwards and we don't have any time for ourselves, we aren't going to be able to be I won't be able to be an adequate husband, I won't be able to be an adequate father, I won't be able to be an adequate friend, hopefully a lot better than adequate, let's just say that. And it goes for energy and bringing more money back into your life as well, and more freedom into your life, because money is just freedom bucks. It's just like when we play Monopoly and we have the little paper currency, that's all money is, but it's freedom bucks. So if you want time freedom in your life, what you have to do is save more than you spend. Because if you behave like 75%, 80% of the population, and you spend more than you save, what happens is you're in a deficit. And when you are in an energy deficit, or in this instance, a financial deficit, it means you're indentured because you're in a deficit. You have to sell all of your time for the foreseeable future. Even if you don't want to, you have to, because you are in debt. You're in a financial deficit. In other words, you are in a debt. So the key to freedom in life is to actually save more than you spend. Ideally 30%. People are going to tell you to try to save 10%. You will not get far in life if you do not save more than you spend. Ideally 30% or more. Number 3, write down your goals and put them somewhere where you can refer to them. Now, I will tell my child that many of the most successful people in the world all write their goals down, and many of the most unsuccessful people don't even know what their goals are, or they have convinced themselves that their goals are not possible. Therefore, they aren't even willing to write them down, because why would I waste the time to write it down if it's not going to happen anyways, because this reason or that reason or this reason. And the 1% of the highest level of achievers become that way because they clearly define what they want most out of their life. So I will tell my kid to pull out a piece of paper and write down what they want out of their life. And to remember though, life isn't about getting things, and goals aren't about getting things. The point of a goal is not what you get. The point of the goal is who you become in the process. And when you start to grow as a person, you have the ultimate value that you need in life, which is gonna be a lot more than anything outside that you can ultimately get. So I let my kid clearly define their goals and understand ultimately when they are an adult, how to organize their goals, how to clearly define their goals, and how to see those objectives through. The 4th thing I will teach my kid is about the power of gratitude. And if they want more in their life, if they want more abundance, they have to practice more gratitude. And that it is the surest way to move through life fluidly. And it's also the surest life to get more of the great things that you want in life. That if life is a result of consciousness, if you are an ungrateful person, or you tell yourself you won't be grateful until you get certain things, you're always going to be a little person. The reason you're going to be a little person is because you need things in your outside world to shift for you to ever truly be happy. And if you need things outside of yourself to truly be happy, then you're always just going to be a slave to the outside environment. The environment will control you. And unfortunately, that's how most people live their entire life. The environment controls them. Other people tell them what to do. Other people tell them their dream isn't possible, and they believe them. They think they'll only be happy when they get money. They think they'll only be happy if this person goes on a date with them. Only if they get this job and they need this car. Everything will be based off of a story they've built that they need things outside of themselves. And nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, the surest way to get more of what you want is to start being grateful right now. Number 5, I will teach my kid that movement is life. That most people, their biggest problem to not have more happiness and fulfillment or productivity and just an all-around better personality to be around is that their emotions and their energy are stagnant. They don't feel good because they don't move. They sit all day. Their blood circulation is low. Their muscles are tight. And psychologists have shown us, we've now seen, like, one of the cures for mild anxiety, mild depression, mild lack of confidence, mild lack of self-esteem, mild levels of just all around negative energy can be solved through exercise, whatever it might be. Life is movement, whether it's walking for 90 minutes a day, speed walking, listening to an audiobook, spending 65, 70 minutes stretching every day, going to the gym and exercising strenuously. You need to move your body at least on a daily basis and exert yourself hard at least a few of those days a week. And when you do that, you're going to produce chemicals that make you feel good. You're going to feel better. You're going to get the body that you want more, which will give you more self-confidence. And you're going to have the frame of mind to be able to concentrate more and focus more to help you achieve the things that you want more in life. And your energy is going to be raising. Next, I will teach my kid to work hard, but to work harder on themselves. Jim Rohn had a quote and he said, to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. And I think the way that it's phrased, it can almost say like not to work hard at your job. So I rephrased it to work hard at your job, but harder on yourself. Because ultimately, the way for you to make more money at a job is for you to grow in skills and for you to grow in value. If you can grow in skills and you can grow in value, you're going to make more money. So work hard on your job, but recognize that the ultimate thing that will grow your income, that will grow your productivity and will help you create more success in life is not your job, it's yourself. So that means personal development. That means personal growth. Whatever it is, if you're in sales, that means studying sales. If you have some anxieties and fears and you need more courage in your life, that means looking at those emotions. That means starting to really identify what are your deepest fears. And when you start to do this interpersonal work, one, you feel happier. And two, it will translate into your work and you'll be a more valuable person and thus you'll be able to increase your success in life. Number 7, I will teach my kid mental rehearsal, or in other words, visualization. Now, the reason that this is so important is because our society, especially from a young age, we're conditioned for anticipatory anxiety, which is essentially we get anxiety and we get worry and we think, well, what if it doesn't happen? What if I ask this person out and they say no? What if I get in a relationship and it doesn't work out? What if I try out for the baseball team and I don't make it? What if I try to build this business and it fails? What if I end up not being good at guitar? And we use mental rehearsal for the negative. Well, the way that this reality works is because life is ultimately a reflection of your own perception. You can train your mind to actually rehearse things that you want. And when you can start to visualize them and you can start to see these images clearly in your own mind and you can start to actually rehearse them. The same way when you're little and you get to play in a little imaginary realm with the dolls and you're doing voices and you're feeling like as if you're the character, you're really having a sensory experience there. Well, if you can close your eyes and do that with the things that you want in life, you imagine yourself getting an A on that test. You imagine you rehearse yourself coming home, holding the paper up, saying, "Mom, Dad, I did it." You imagine yourself getting that job and you imagine yourself making that free throw or whatever it is. The first step to achieve it in the outside environment is to clearly see it in your mind and to get your brain used to feeling like you've already achieved it. So you can do mental rehearsal for just a simple 5 or 10 or 15 minutes before you go out there into your day, before you go out there into the activity. But I'll teach my kid, if you can see it clearly in your mind, that is the first step to eventually holding it in your hand and having it in your life. Number 8, I will teach my kid to focus on their breath and the importance of conscious and intentional breathing. You know, a lot of times something happens at school or something happens at work or something happens in a relationship, and we start to get in the fight or flight mode. And, you know, we're dealing with some negative emotions or some anxiety. Well, the simplest way to eventually be able to solve that issue or to break through that issue is actually by stopping. It's actually by stopping and taking a nice deep breath and getting outside of our mind, because the mind wants us to keep running. It wants to keep running over and over, and it wants to say, well, you could have done this better, and what if this bad happens, and you should have done this, and oh my gosh, they did this, and I can't believe, why did they do this, and oh my gosh, that makes me so mad. And the mind is actually, it will go forever. It will literally go forever. And the only way to break out of that cycle is to bring yourself right back here into the moment. And so just take a nice deep breath in and out. And I can't wait for the day that I teach my kid how to take a nice deep conscious breath. So I'll just teach them to breathe in for 3 or 4 seconds. Just breathe in just like this. And then breathe out. And then I'll ask my kid, can you breathe slow enough where you can feel that nice cold air? You know how it's nice and cold outside? Well, can you breathe slow enough that you could feel that cold air just tickle your nostril? Can you just feel it right there? And breathe in nice and deep. Just go nice and deep in. And when you breathe in, then just exhale and do a big deep exhale that feels really good in your body. Do it just like that. Breathe in. And I'll just teach my kid how to take some nice deep breaths like that. When something isn't going their way, when they get a little nervous, when they are getting a little bit antsy, or they can't sleep, or there's a monster under their bed, or when they're an adult and they're interviewing for a job, or they're eventually in their 40s and they're raising a family and they're dealing with hitting a financial goal or dealing with this problem, that the best way to actually rid that problem and to solve that problem and to find happiness and peace again is through your own breath. Because when you can slow your breath down, you slow your nervous system down. Your nervous system is what gets you all hyped up, or it makes you all calm. A lot of times we get into this fight or flight mode and we forget about our breath, and our breath gets really shallow and it gets really tight and it gets really constricted. And if you can just stop and take a nice couple deep breaths, you're gonna feel real calm, real good, and you're gonna be able to solve the problems. Number 9, I will teach my kid how to do gratitude journaling. Earlier I talked about gratitude, and I think one of the most important things all of us can do is just pull out a piece of paper and make a simple list of 3 or 5 things every day that we're grateful for. Just 3 or 5. And you just do it real simple. I'm grateful that I have lungs to breathe. I'm grateful that I just made an extra this many dollars. I'm grateful that I was able to go outside and exercise today. Just 3 things or 4 things or 5 things, just something that only takes you a couple minutes. And you just take a few minutes and you just write out a couple things that you're thankful for. Last but not least, probably a lot more things as well, is I'm going to teach my kid that it's not their job to get other people to like them, and it's their job to like themselves. I'm going to let them know that there's a lot of unhappy people in the world, and there's a lot of people that want to spend all their energy trying to change other people. And I want to remind my kid, and I want them to grow into an independent adult. I think that one of the biggest problems that grown-ups have in our society is we're afraid of what other people think. So we never live our fullest potential. We never start that business. We never share that idea. We never ask for that raise or ask that person out, or we're always just so anxious about what other people think of us. And it doesn't allow us to be comfortable with who we are, nor does it allow us to ever really express our own individuality to the fullest. When you know who you are and you're okay with who you are, and you start expressing who you are independent of other people's approval, you find real happiness, you find your purpose in life, and you find your truest calling and success in life. And that's what happened to me. I dropped out of college when I was 19, and I started this work that sometimes people think is weird, crazy, and people disagree with. A lot of people didn't think I could be successful at it. And I had to like myself and trust myself and approve of myself, even if other people didn't approve of me. The irony of that was that ultimately it led me down a path of what Ralph Waldo Emerson calls self-reliance. And that self-reliance is what ultimately allowed me to get good at what I was doing, to start to build a successful business and find true purpose in life, and ultimately find fulfillment where I'm able to look in the mirror and say, yeah, I really like who I am. And I'll let my kid know the number one regret people have is, I wish I would have lived a life true to myself. So I'll remind them, it's not your job to get other people to like you. It's your job to like you. And when you like you and you trust you and you have the courage to do something, even if someone says, oh, that's not possible, or oh yeah, you can't. And when you have that type of courage, you will have success and you will have true deep happiness in your life. And ultimately, you will attract the perfect friendships, relationships, and romances of people who have a similar like mind and their own high level of self-respect. So this is Jake Ducey with JakeDucey.com, and in this video I talked about some of the manifestation principles, some of the life principles that I will teach my kid. So if you enjoy this video, make sure you hit the like button right over there on the side to send this out into the YouTube universe. Maybe you have a kid, or maybe now they're an adult, and you want to share this with them. Be my guest. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell notification on the side right over there. The bell notification is what notifies you for new videos. So even if you're already subscribed, just double check if you hit the bell notification. Right there down below is my free success hypnosis. It's jakeshypnosis.com. It's right there down below. What it is my free success hypnosis that I made to start to get rid of all those thoughts from society, to get rid of all those limiting beliefs that told me that I was too young, I couldn't do it, oh, it's gonna be too hard, and I don't know if it's gonna work out. And I started programming myself, hypnotizing myself, and telling myself, and doing this in a very specific way to convince my subconscious that I already was successful. The results were amazing. Over 750,000 people from all over the world have now used it. All you need to do is listen to it for like 5 minutes a day. You'll get some amazing results in your life. It's free. All I ask is you come back and share your success story right there down below. It's right there down below, jakeshypnosis.com, right there down below, pinned to the comments, and you can use my free success hypnosis. I always say, brainwash yourself for success before the world brainwashes you for failure. Right there down below. Have an absolutely great day. Thank you for watching this video all the way through, and I'll talk to you soon.